Drawn by a common hatred for Superman, supervillains Toyman, Livewire, Weather Wizard, Calabac, and Metallo forge a pact to defeat a common enemy. They later strike Metropolis in a coordinated attack where even the local police are unable to stop them. Calabac worries that Superman isn't coming, but Metallo is confident their presence will lure him out. Just then, Toyman finishes his giant robot and starts fucking shit up. Weather Wizard claims someone fast is approaching, to which Toyman readies his aim. They were surprised to find that it wasn't Superman, but the entire Justice League that showed up to stop them. While Green Lantern storms in through the front, Flash sneaks up from behind them. Weather Wizard notices Flash and uses his powers to stop him, but Wonder Woman shows up to his rescue. She then tells Flash they need to get rid of Metallo, so he grabs her lasso and slingshots him far away. Calabac tells Weather Wizard to provide cover while he holds the other heroes down himself. Weather Wizard then summons a hurricane that keeps Green Lantern and Hawkgirl preoccupied with rescuing the civilians caught. Calabac confronts Wonder Woman and overpowers her, knocking her down against a building. Flash tries to attack Weather Wizard, but he takes him out first. Batman sneaks up from behind him and knocks out Weather Wizard after he takes his weapon from him. Calabac now confronts Batman, but he can't seem to catch him despite his overwhelming strength. When Calabac taunts Batman to attack him, he explains he was only stalling for time, and Superman arrives and blows him away with a punch. Suddenly, Toyman aims his weapon at Superman, to which he quickly rescues Batman out of harm's way. When Toyman tried to attack them again, they quickly rescued the civilians that are caught in the crossfire. Superman demands Toyman surrender, claiming he would never hit him with his weapon. Toyman agrees and aims his weapon at the defenseless Batman, helping a weakened Wonder Woman. Superman jumps in front to shield them from the blast and gets a direct hit from Toyman's weapon. Everyone witnesses Superman disintegrate with nothing but a shred of his cape left behind. As Toyman celebrates Superman's demise, everyone else is frozen in shock, unable to believe what happened. In a fit of rage, Wonder Woman attacks Toyman and is about to finish him off when Flash stops her, clinging to Superman's memory. As the League prepares for the funeral, the people wonder if there will still be a Justice League with Superman gone. While everyone starts questioning the League's future, Batman continues investigating the incident and concludes that Superman is not dead. He explains that the lack of evidence at the scene confirmed his suspicions. After analyzing the items left behind, Batman claims he found nothing on them. No scorching, no residue, no radiation, and the objects were suddenly gone. Batman further explains to Alfred that matter can't be created or destroyed, only changed to one form or another. That said, Alfred claims that despite clinging to the hope that Superman may still be alive, he insists that Batman should still appear at the funeral. Batman refuses and claims that he still has a lot of things to do. People and heroes at Superman's funeral service pay their respects to the one they acknowledge as the greatest hero of all time. Hawkgirl worries that Batman hasn't shown up yet, and Wonder Woman claims he doesn't handle grief too well. Suddenly, a commotion happens outside, and Lois then confronts Luthor when he shows up at the funeral. While Lois takes out her frustrations on Luthor, he embraces her and claims he will miss him too. After saying a few words to honor Superman, the world's greatest heroes then escort his coffin to a grave in the middle of Metropolis. At the Watchtower, the League shared their fond memories of Superman. While on the topic, John asks the others to consider adding a new member to fortify their numbers. Unable to decide who they will consider, Wonder Woman calls Batman to see if he would consider being an official member, but he brushes her off, claiming to be busy. Meanwhile, Batman follows a lead that takes him back to Superman's grave. He starts to wonder if he might have been wrong and decides to say the words he couldn't before. While pouring his heart out, he suddenly hears an explosion in Metropolis. as supervillains go on a crime spree now that there's no Superman to stop them. When Calabac is about to throw a car at the cops, Batman shows up and shoots a missile at him. Livewire hits the Batjet with her powers, forcing him to eject from the cockpit. Despite being outnumbered, Batman knocks out Deadshot and captures Copperhead. When he is about to cuff them, Livewire sneaks up from behind and knocks Batman out. While the League cannot decide, Lobo suddenly shows up at the Watchtower, claiming to be Superman's replacement. Green Lantern introduces Lobo as a notorious space bounty hunter, to which the others quickly dislike him. Lobo claims to know Superman and even brags about saving him, but Green Lantern says otherwise, claiming that Superman told them a different story. Despite their objections, Lobo refuses to give up and instead shows them how strong he is. Green Lantern restrains him inside a barrier, but Lobo uses his motorcycle to knock him out when he cannot break through. The others quickly jump in to stop him, but don't stand a chance against his strength. John catches him off guard, but Wonder Woman smashes him against a wall when he continues to fight back. That said, Lobo insists that the League needs his help, to which Green Lantern agrees after seeing the news that Metropolis is in chaos because of the out-of-control supervillains rampaging in the city. Having heard of Metropolis, the Justice League quickly flew out to apprehend the criminals. Wonder Woman knocks out Deadshot, Flash handles Volcana, while Green Lantern traps Star Sapphire. When Copperhead starts chasing civilians, Hawkgirl knocks him out, but Livewire takes her out along with John. Flash also gets knocked down by Calabac, so Lobo then shows up to help them. Batman regains consciousness and extinguishes Volcana with a firing hose, while Wonder Woman knocks out Star Sapphire when Green Lantern struggles to contain her. Flash chases after Livewire, who tries to escape while Lobo forces Calabac into submission. Lobo claims they do not need Superman now that he's part of the team. Meanwhile, Superman is revealed to be alive in an unknown world. In a distant world, Superman regains consciousness, but finds an ominous red sun in the sky, rendering him powerless. He tried calling out to others in the area, but there didn't seem to be people anywhere near him. He tried calling out to the Justice League when he picked up Batman's homing beacon from a distance. Hearing no response, Superman decides to leave the channel open, hoping to get a signal sooner or later. As no help is coming, Superman chooses to scavenge for supplies and get a car working. He tried searching for clues, but ended up in the middle of nowhere. After some time has passed, Superman decides to camp for the night. After making a campfire, he quickly finds himself surrounded by a pack of feral wolves. He tried scaring them off loudly, but when they refused to give up, he scared them off by throwing a torch at them. Worried that this would not be the last time he'd run into them, Superman decides to use the remaining flares to forge a sword. With it, he could cut down a plant he ate for sustenance. He continued driving until he ran out of fuel, so he walked the rest of the way. Out of nowhere, he hears growling from behind and discovers the wolves have been stalking him, to which they cornered him against a cliff. Superman tries to scare them off, but the wolves stand their ground. The pack leader quickly pounces on him, forcing him to drop his sword. Superman managed to get him off his back, but the others also jumped at him. He managed to break free and used his hammer and sword to fend them off. When the others start to hesitate, the pack leader ferociously attacks him. Superman managed to defeat the leader, to which the others quickly submitted to him, turning them into a pack of snow dogs headed toward the direction where he was picking up Batman's beacon. When he reaches the cliff's edge, he decides to free the wolves, who have no further need for them. After climbing the cliff, he finds gigantic creatures he has never seen before. He tries to sneak past them and avoid trouble. He later finds remains of the Watchtower, which he hurriedly runs over in worry about what happened. He checked the records to find clues, but had more questions. Out of nowhere, Vandal Savage shows up and explains that everyone died out. Superman quickly realizes they are in the future, which Savage confirms is thousands of years from where he came from. Savage claims that Toyman's disintegrator ray brought him into the future while he simply outlived everyone else by being immortal. He reveals that he picked up Superman's comm signal, but opted not to call him, worried he might still hold a grudge against him. With nothing to do, Savage then invites Superman over to his home. They passed through Metropolis, to which Savage claims he restored it, being archaeology as one of his hobbies. He then reveals that he destroyed the world using an invention that gave him total control of gravity. Superman claims that the Justice League would have stopped him, and Savage admits to killing them. To make it worse, his newfound powers destroyed the gravitational balance of the entire solar system, which further plunged the world to its doom. Hearing that, Superman loses his cool and beats up Savage but cannot finish him off. They later return to his home where Savage cooks him a meal. Savage explains how he has spent a lot of time alone and has learned to grow his own food crops. He even claims to have wanted to leave Earth in search of other life forms, but opted not to, claiming to deserve punishment for what he did. Later that night, Superman cannot rest, so he checks the place to discover that Savage has a time machine. Savage claims he never got to finish it, having lost interest when he realized that he could not travel back to a time when he already existed. That said, Superman claims he is perfect for it, given that he has already died in his old timeline. The next day, they quickly work on the time machine, but when they finally complete it, they discover they do not have enough power to open a wormhole. Savage claims that not even 10 hydroelectric dams could power the machine. That said, Savage explains that 30 years ago, some roach creatures broke into his lab and stole the zero-point generator, the only power source in the world that would be able to power up his time machine. He then takes Superman flying on giant dragonflies to recover his generator. Superman suggests building another one, which Savage explains will take another 50 years. When they arrive at the Roach's den, Savage explains that the creatures wanted the power cell as it acts like a miniature sun. Out of nowhere, roaches show up, and they both quickly flee as the creatures feed on the dragonflies. They stealthily raid the cave, but a roach catches them and alerts the others. Cornered, Superman falls into the abyss, to which he instead recovers the power cell. The radiation from the power cell restored his powers, and he quickly defeated the roaches as they closed in on Savage. Savage claims that he was unsure if it would restore his powers, so he never mentioned it as he didn't want to raise his hopes. Although Savage isn't confident in sending Superman back, he entrusts him with stopping his younger self from destroying the world, which Superman promises. Superman returns when the Justice League is about to stop Lobo from finishing off Kalibak. When Deadshot aims at Batman from a distance, Superman arrives and catches the missile with his hands, surprising everyone. Batman quickly reacts and throws a batarang at Deadshot, knocking him out. Despite his ragged outfit, the League is pleased to see Superman alive again, even with the beard on. John tells him he was surely missed, and Wonder Woman claims that even Batman took his death as hard as anyone could. Batman claims that he never believed that he was dead in the first place, which Superman took as a compliment. Superman quickly fires Lobo, explaining that he's not League material. Lobo took it personally and left, ranting about not asking for help the next time they needed it. Thank you for watching. Check out these other videos, and make sure to subscribe and tap the bell to be notified about our latest videos. See you next time.